Hello and welcome to the weather update. It is May 18th, 2023, and started off a little smoke in the morning, and then it kind of dissipated by the afternoon, and then came back this evening. Oh, I have the whole full satellite loop here for us. You can see what's going on today. So you can see the smoke starting to come in again as we get toward the evening here. Let's see if this is going to have the morning. Yeah, you can see the smoke in the morning was kind of thick, and then it kind of dissipated by the afternoon a little bit. And interesting enough, you had a lot of cloudiness forming over New Jersey, I guess due to the onshore flow, and now the smoke is kind of returning here over our area. But yeah, there was some cloudiness over Jersey today. Whenever we get this onshore flow, there's a little more moisture in the air, and it heats up and forms a lot of these cumulus clouds that popped up over New Jersey. But for the most part, Long Island, not much in the way of clouds, just a little bit of that smoke, and there's a lot more of it to come. You can see there's a lot of it over Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and I'm wondering if some of this is getting down to the surface too, because you can see more smoke in Minnesota here, and again, these fires continue to burn out of control in British Columbia, Northwest Territories. Looks like we have a bunch of fires going in the Northwest Territories there. A lot of these developed yesterday, and then Alberta as well. Lots of fires there. Looks like there's some new ones that did develop now as we go into more northeastern Alberta, and then we got quite a few going in Saskatchewan as well, and I wonder if those are fires or I think that's still ice on the lakes there. But other than that, I'm surprised that ice hasn't melted yet, but it will soon enough. And you can see just lots of smoke from these fires here. Though at least these fires don't seem to be the smoke seems to be kind of like dissipating or whatever. It's not forming, like, I guess because there's a lot of lift in the atmosphere or whatever. But other than that, you can see lots and lots of smoke from these wildfires here going. And as far as us goes, you can see we're in fair weather. And then you can see there's a stalled frontal boundary off to the south. And looking at our weather map, you can see there's that front. There's a low along it. High pressure is now moving offshore. And you can see there's a series of low pressure systems across the Midwest that are moving east. And as far as any severe weather goes, just a slight risk in a small area in Oklahoma. Pretty quiet other than that. So let's take a look and see what the day was like outside today. And again, we had some blue skies in the afternoon, and was at Southerly Lake in Babylon, enjoying some of these blue skies. You can see minimal haze. It's just a slight bit of haze. Nothing too noticeable. But as we got toward the evening again, this is what the sky looked like at dusk, and you could see a lot of that haze there on the horizon. That's all from the smoke, again, from the wildfires. Looking at the national view, you'll see a number of air quality alerts here, and this is probably all due to wildfire smoke in Michigan, parts of Michigan, Illinois, into Minnesota. We have air quality alerts in effect due to these wildfire smokes. Smoky conditions expected to develop into Friday, and it just kind of disappeared. And I have a feeling we'll have air quality alerts. This is all due to the wildfire smoke. All these air quality alerts. You also have some in Montana as well, and parts of Washington. And I have a feeling this is going to be moving eastward as we as we go toward tomorrow. I have a feeling we're going to be dealing with some of that. And you can see cooler air in the east. You can see nothing really too hot across the country except for the west. Of course, I see some 80s in Washington up there, and then 93 in Central California. But looking at the weather up here, you can see it doesn't seem to be quite as hot as it was, but it's still very dry. Dew points are still pretty low. The dew points are still pretty low, and that's going to help the fires continue to burn. And there's more heat, actually. It seems like it's more focused now into the Northwest Territories. Wow, look at how warm it is this far up. 84, 85 degrees. I mean, that's pretty far up there. That's in the mountains, too, so that's pretty crazy. That's really, really crazy. So getting to our area, you'll see here temperatures, generally speaking, are in the 50s and 40s. It was a very cool day today, so looking at islip, I think we struggled to make it to 60. I don't know if we even made it to 60, so let's take a look and see what it was. It was mainly in the 50s all day, 50s in the afternoon. Yeah, more or less 50s all day at islip. Look at that. Didn't even make it to 60 degrees today, and that was given that we had plenty of sunshine here. We started off with northeast winds in the morning, and then they quickly shifted to the southeast and south. And that strong wind off the water kept things cool. As you'll see, though, the dew points were a little higher as a result, a little bit, but still pretty cool. Let's look at Farmingdale. Farmingdale might have gotten to 60. Let's see, the further west you go, generally the warmer it would be. Let's see. Nope, they didn't even make it to 60 either. So, wow, that's pretty chilly. So let's go take a look at the highs across the area and the lows. And we'll start first with the highs. And you see highs generally only in the 50s everywhere pretty much, though Central Nassau did get up to 62. A little warmer. North Shore, Suffolk, still fairly cool everywhere. Some upper 50s was all pretty much, upper 50s and low 60s is pretty much it for all of Long Island, pretty much. So even the city only got to 60 degrees in Central Park, and New Jersey probably was not that much. Yep, only low 60s there. So quite a bit below normal today. Was definitely quite a bit below normal. Probably the coldest day as far as the biggest temperature anomalies for this month here. 28 in West Hampton, so they did get radiational cooling. Everybody else was pretty much up mid to upper 30s, some low 40s, mid 40s in the city. And looking at Jersey, and as far as their Pine Barrens, to see if that what kind of radiational cooling they got. Not quite as much as West Hampton, but still mid 30s. It's pretty chilly. 32 actually at Jackson for a low, so that's pretty chilly indeed. So looking at your climate report for today, which we'll go and we'll look at that. And so Islip, high. We have a record low at Islip this morning, 38 degrees. It broke the record low of 30. It was tied the record low, so it tied the record. We tied the record at Islip, 38. The high was only 57, 12 degrees below normal for the day. That's pretty significant again. And look at this, only 0.116 of rain for the whole month, and here we are at May 18th, which is pretty nuts when you think about it. Central Park, 61, so full 12 degrees below normal there. Everybody was about 11 to 12 degrees below normal today, so this is going to be, the biggest anomaly. And they're still running pretty low on rain. They're doing a little better at 0.41, but other than that, really, really big departures in temperatures today for the day. Very, very cool. And yesterday would have turned out to be cooler if we took away the midnight high, but I think they count that. If I go to Islip here and go to the old for one for May 17th, yeah, they're going to count that midnight high, or is it 3:08 actually, a.m.? They're going to count that. So, but if you take that out of the equation, yesterday was almost as below normal as today was, though it was actually turned out to be cooler today than yesterday because I had onshore flow. So let's go talk about the smoke and where it's going to go, because we have the RAP model to look at now. So we'll run the loop here, and I have a feeling we're going to be getting into this tomorrow. So it lifts north, actually. So amazingly, it doesn't look like we're going to get into it for tomorrow, but we may wind up getting into it on the weekend. You can see there's a big, thick cloud, so maybe that's going to get here maybe by the weekend, perhaps. And there's plenty more, so we're going to be dealing with this who knows how long, until they get some decent rain over there, I guess, and these fires get suppressed, and who knows when that's going to be. So let's go look at the models now, and we'll start with the North American view. I don't really want to go too long range in this, but we're going to show up the North American view to show you if anything changes in the upper air pattern between now and next week. And I guess we could sort of look at Memorial Day weekend. So you can see the jet stream here, and again, got that huge ridge in the west. There's some more troughs coming into the east. It looks like there does try to develop troughiness next week in the west. Perhaps you see some low pressure centers there, and a very disorganized jet stream, by the way, extremely disorganized. But it may bring some more chances for rain for them. Let's hope that they can get some rain and get these fires under control, because it's just an unbelievable conflagration going on over there right now. So if we look at right now, you see there's that big ridge, and you can see a little low there comes to the weekend, little troughing in the east. But then you'll notice we still got this ridge in the west. But you'll notice there's a little bit of a cutoff low now in the Pacific Northwest. And you'll notice also we have a low that might develop just in time for Memorial Day weekend, a cutoff low perhaps over us, and that might ruin So that's the irony that most of the rain we get this month would be on Memorial Day weekend, but that's the way it seems to go. But still, not a really huge breakdown in that western ridge. Oh, let me go back that for a minute. Let's go to the temperature anomaly chart here just to see if it cools down at all because, again, you can see those bright pink, hot pink colors there. Continues through the weekend. It does ease a little bit, but yeah, no, it does ease a little bit as we get toward the end of the month, but not much. Not much. I mean, there really isn't much change here, and that's a big problem. It's a big problem, and just to throw it out there, we'll put the total accumulated precip up there, and you can see it is showing a little bit of rain falling over there as we get toward next week, and maybe there'll be some rain chances at least in some parts of Canada there, in western Canada, but it won't be where all the fires are. But maybe if we can get the rain to fall over where the fires are occurring, it would be a great help for sure. So let's go to the surface map. I'm actually going to keep it in this mode, so we'll see, just so you get an idea of what's going on in Canada. I know this is a little zoomed out here, but you'll see we have this chance for rain on Sunday. We'll get to it the weekend a little bit here, but looking at there, you can see it looks like there is some scattered shower activity next week into that area right there, into that British Columbia, Alberta area. Hopefully they can get some rain there. As far as us, we continue to see fair weather after that system moves through on Saturday. Our chance for rain is going to be on Saturday, and then after that we're going to be kind of dry. Pull this over here to a little bit. We're going to be kind of dry. And you can see we have high pressure and control for next week. But as we get toward that weekend, that high gets into a position, and then we have a low that forms underneath it that could wind up bringing rain for at least part of them, and then it gets stuck and cuts off. So that could keep rain chances around throughout the whole weekend. Though it may not be a soaker, and it's just way too far in advance to have a good idea of what's going to happen. So let's go to the HRRR, which you should have the full 0Z run of the HRRR in here. And obviously no rain tomorrow. It's Saturday that we have to watch. We got this little low that's forming, and that could bring some scattered rain chances in the morning, or mainly over Suffolk County. And then the HRRR actually wants to have it lingering all day and not really ending until the evening. So the HRRR is a little bit of an outlier with this. Some of the other models are a little different. But if the HRRR, your Saturday is going to suck, but it will give us a decent amount of rain. And there's that cold front. So if we were to look at the total accumulated rain on the HRRR, it would give us over 2 inches in a soaker for Saturday, which would definitely, but you can see there's a sharp cutoff line. But it would at least get much of the New Jersey shore into Long Island with 1 to 2 inches of rain, perhaps. That's the HRRR's way of thinking. But it does seem to be an outlier. At least we'll see. I haven't seen any of the other models right now. But let's go to the dew points and wind flow. All right, so we'll get this out of the way here. So you see tomorrow, wind southerly. See a little bit of increasing moisture. Here comes that low. So it's going to get damp on Saturday and quite humid. And that would bring in the showers and thunderstorms with that kind of humidity around. Your temperatures tonight, obviously, we're going to see low 40s. And just give me a second here. And I've got to get some water. So getting back to the air temperatures here, lows tonight will probably drop into probably maybe not as cold as last night, probably 40s for the most part. And then as we get to Friday, the allergies are absolutely terrible. Anyone else having just really terrible allergies? It's like just awful. But anyway, so we've got 60s again tomorrow. Probably be a little bit warmer tomorrow. Probably low to mid 60s, still below normal. Maybe near 70 way inland, and then it doesn't drop off to Friday night, and then Saturday. You can see we'll have the cloud, so it's still going to keep us in the 60s. But off to the west, you see some 70s there. And again, this is the HRRR model. So let's switch to another model, the NAM 12. And we have 48 hours of the NAM 12 in here. Let's go to the rain. Look. You can see a little bit of rain Saturday morning, and then it's not really showing much of anything, the NAM 12. It shows a little bit of light rain in the morning, and then the cold front comes through and there isn't anything. So this is the NAM 12, and it's really not showing much at all. So yeah, we have a big disagreement here. The NAM 12 barely gives us anything, and the HRRR gives us a soaking. So yeah, these models like as far as apart as they can be. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Let's go to one more model, and that's the GFS. And I'll just look at the GFS, and the GFS is giving us more. So the GFS is saying maybe as much of as an inch of rain. So let's go to the GFS here. And see, the GFS is more like the HRRR. It's going to have a much more pronounced low that's going to develop ahead of this front just because of the warmth of the water. And that could help fuel this low. And then the rain's going to linger around, so ruining your whole Saturday. But then Sunday is better. So let's go to the FV3, which is the high. All right, so the FV3. GFS is looking more like the HRRR. So there's a difference here. The NAM is saying no. HRRR is saying yes. GFS is saying yes. So we have two models. The models are kind of diverging all over the place. So this is the 0Z run, by the way, of the GFS, which is developing all this rain. So it's kind of just all over the place. Let's just go to the RGEM for the heck of it. I think the RGEM is looking like it seems like the NAM is the odd one out at this point. So, kind of like process of elimination here, that Saturday could wind up being kind of a crappy day with this rain lingering around the whole day and not getting out of here with this front low and then front stalling out over us. We have models that don't agree with each other. Let's try the icon out. The icon has it further east. So it's kind of, and let's see what the icon has for total rainfall. So look at that. It's got literally Nassau dry, but Suffolk getting a decent amount of rain. So yeah, the models are all over the place, and they're not going to know until tomorrow. But just be prepared. That Saturday might suck. I know we need rain. Why does it have to fall on Saturday and ruin the whole entire day? But we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens, but we do definitely need rain. It's been dry. We don't need any big wildfires here. So let's go back to the RGEM. And we'll look at the skies. All right, so tomorrow we'll have those high clouds around and maybe a little more smoke. Plenty of high clouds around, though, so you won't see a lot of filtered sun. Cirrus, you know the deal. And then Saturday, obviously, we'll have the clouds around. This cold front comes through, kind of just slowly hangs around, and it doesn't even clear out until later Sunday. It just stalls this front out. The front is moving along much slower than the other models. The NAM just moves it right through, whereas the other models, they just stall it out and keep the clouds around even for a good part of Sunday. Unless you're in Jersey, maybe it'll clear out by the afternoon. But that's, of course, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of smoke behind this front. So that's the thing. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of smoke. That we can't predict that far out. So saying it'd be a quote-unquote clear day is, hard to tell at this point. Here's the GFS. You can see it hangs the front up. And it doesn't really get it out of here until Monday. And then we might have some clearer weather. And let's just go look at the temperatures while we're at it here and dew points in the GFS here. So as we get to Sunday, you can see that moisture there. So as the front basically gets stuck, low forms along it, dealing with the ruined Saturday and a Sunday you see there's not really air behind this front isn't that dry at all. The dew points are not nearly as low as this last front we got. We have easterly winds Tuesday, and then you can see we kind of stay in this moist air mass, and then the dew points start coming down as you get toward Friday, which lead me to believe that's going to be cooler. So let's look at the actual air temperatures now as you get to Sunday, because I have a feeling Sunday will be near average. Yeah, so we'll definitely be breaking the 70 mark on Sunday. And then looking at next week, we're going to rise to the mid. Yeah, next week looks pretty mild. So temperatures near normal, maybe slightly above normal some days. Definitely not as it's funny. You put on Channel 12 and they're forecasting all 60s for next week. Where? On the South Shore, I guess, right? Because that's where the South Shore 12. But I think we'll see 70s. I think we'll see temperatures near average. Next week will be warmer. But then you can see it cools off as you get toward Friday here. It would be cooler. And as far as the sky goes, probably a lot of clouds around. We'd have to see if we're gonna, get rid of the clouds or not. But anyway, hopefully we can manage maybe one clear day next week. But we'll have to see. It looks like the pattern is changing a little bit to being a little bit more moist and a little more unsettled. But other than the storm, after the storm, we're not going to really see another rain chance for a while. So Saturday's our best rain chance, and then after that, we're not really going to see much rain until possibly the Memorial Day weekend with this coastal low that's going to. I mean, this is way out. But you can see it's gonna kind of sit over us and kind of ruin at least the latter half of the weekend. But we'll have to see what happens because again, there's not going to be a jet stream, so things are kind of just meander around. Again, no jet stream. That's really disturbing that nobody else seems to be very concerned about that. But anyway, let's go to one more. It feels like I am leaving something out before I wrap up this weather update. I went over all the models already. We did the smoke model. I think we did everything as far as that's concerned. I guess I could go to look at the Climate Prediction Center. I want to look at that Climate Prediction Center. I said I wasn't getting the long range, but it is showing above normal for much of the northern tier for the next 6 to 10 days. Below normal precipitation still, 8 to 14 day below normal. So you can see they're kind of just above normal for the whole northern tier there. And every model is different opinion. Let me go to the European model. There's one more model we could look at here. It's the European model. It seems to have the rain lingering around and then ending maybe by the evening. So, yeah, this is the European. So let's just see how much rainfall the European gives us. Yeah, it seems like it's mostly east-oriented. So it all depends on where the storm forms, where the rain is going to be. It's very hard to really pinpoint it down and give an exact, thing. We go to the Weather Prediction Center. I'm kind of curious. Let's go back to the Weather Prediction Center. Move this over to day 2 and day 3. So here's your day 2 and day 3. You can see, there's Saturday there with the lows kind of coming through here. You can see that. So, yeah, it's going to be really hard to say what's going to happen because we just don't know. We just don't know. And let me refresh this, see if we can get any more hours on this model. Because technically it goes out to like 51 hours, but I can't seem to get that. Let me see, maybe the 0Z goes out further? No. There was one of these. You'd think one of these runs would go out a little further than the other. I'm sure there probably is one, and I just don't know which one it is. Maybe it's the 12Z? No, they only go out about 21 hours, it seems. That's it. So, unfortunately, we only get about 21 hours of it. So I'm kind of curious about the weekend here. I really am. There's the HRRR smoke as well. But that's not. It's not. I don't think it's going to show up on the HRRR. We could try. I'm just kind of curious about. Let's go to the 0Z run. So the HRRR goes further. Let's see. It's probably not going to show it though. It's the problem because the fires are burning in Canada. And it's not taking it into. Yeah, it's not taking it into consideration. So that's the problem we have. So this is not going to work. Oh well. I tried. I wanted to go a little further with the smoke. I wish there was a model that went a little further along. But there isn't, unfortunately. So I guess that's going to wrap it up. Oops. Stop doing that, computer. So there you go. That's going to wrap it up again. The smoke is, I still think looking at this that we're going to see a lot more smoke tomorrow along with the high clouds. But perhaps the smoke gets pushed up to the north. But there's still smoke over here. But then I think when we get behind this front, we're going to have a lot more smoke to deal with. But this looks like some pretty thick smoke over here, so I'll have to see if we get into this or not tomorrow. It's really hard to predict. There's so many variables. And, we have the smoke and we have this rain event for Saturday. And, but anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. And, it feels like I'm leaving something out. It does really feel like I'm leaving something out, but we can do one other thing. Track the smoke. We have the Earth and Old School site. We can look at that. Um, this is not quite as good of a sight, but you can sort of see it. So let's move this along and see what happens here. That smoke doesn't really show it getting here. This along now, we're at 21, so we're at Sunday. It's not showing too much smoke. Whatever the case is, it keeps the worst of it away from us. So that's as far as we get on the smoke. Chemicals, you don't even go that far. So yeah. So I think that's all I got for you. So have a good night. Thanks for watching.